How would a third world war change our relationship with the universe? This question goes beyond borders and battlefields, it reaches into the night sky itself. We often think of war in human terms, soldiers, cities, suffering. But what if the consequences are bigger than we imagine? What if our conflicts have cosmic implications? A global war wouldn't just reshape our planet, it would reshape our place among the stars. Imagine a world consumed by conflict. Every nation, every scientist, every resource turns inward. Survival becomes the only mission. The grand questions, are we alone, what is out there, would fade into the background noise of explosions and sirens. Our telescopes, once pointed at distant galaxies, might be repurposed for military surveillance. Our brightest minds would be tasked with creating more effective weapons, not exploring the cosmos. The spirit of curiosity that drives human progress would be overshadowed by the instinct to defend and destroy. The very nature of what we see in the sky would change. Drones, hypersonic missiles and stealth aircraft would become the new UAPs. Every strange light would be viewed with suspicion, not wonder. The line between military prototypes and something genuinely otherworldly would blur, shutting down serious investigation for generations. If we turn our planet into a war zone, what message are we sending to the cosmos? Would other intelligent beings see a vibrant, curious species, or a self-destructive race trapped by its own aggression? A global war would be a declaration to the universe that we are not yet ready for a place on the galactic stage. In the aftermath of a global war, our priorities would shift overnight. Space exploration would come to a screeching halt. The resources for a single rocket launch, funding, cooperation, technology, would be diverted to defense. International partnerships like the International Space Station would crumble. The station itself could become a strategic target or be abandoned. Our window to the universe would slam shut. Technology would pivot from looking outward to looking inward, with hostile intent. The same minds that designed the James Webb Space Telescope would be redirected to developing smarter bombs and deadlier cyber weapons. Satellites, once used for climate study and communication, would become tools of espionage and warfare. The infrastructure of exploration would be converted into an infrastructure of destruction. Humanity would enter a new dark age, not of ignorance but of misused knowledge. We would lose more than technology. We would lose momentum. The chain of progress, from the first satellites to the moon, would break. The next generation, growing up in conflict and scarcity, might never dream of other worlds. The search for life beyond Earth would seem like an unaffordable luxury. SETI's radio dishes would go silent, likely destroyed or repurposed. The message would be clear: humanity is too busy fighting itself to listen to the universe. We would be left alone with our conflicts, deaf to any potential calls from the stars. History shows a pattern. When human conflict escalates, so do sightings of unidentified flying objects. During World War II, pilots reported mysterious balls of light, Foo Fighters, that followed their planes, never hostile, just watching. These incidents were widespread, reported by seasoned pilots across Europe and the Pacific. The Cold War saw another spike in UFO sightings, especially near military bases and nuclear facilities. The famous Roswell incident and the Washington radar events occurred at the dawn of this tense era. Official explanations often pointed to weather or misidentified aircraft, but the connection to military activity was hard to ignore. Why does this happen? More eyes on the sky, more planes, more radar, more chances to notice the unusual. Wars are breeding grounds for secret technology. Many sightings were likely advanced prototypes mistaken for something otherworldly. But what if some of these objects aren't ours? If extraterrestrial intelligence is monitoring us, a global war, especially nuclear, would be a major event. It would be like seeing smoke pour from a neighbor's house. You'd pay closer attention. Perhaps Foo Fighters and Cold War UFOs were probes from an outside civilization, drawn to our conflicts to observe or even worry about what we might do next. In times of war, the skies become crowded with both human and possibly non-human watchers. The line between the two becomes harder to see. A third world war would ground humanity's ambitions for space. Our ventures into the cosmos depend on peace and economic stability. Programs like Artemis, aiming to return humans to the moon, rely on global cooperation. In a fractured world, such collaboration would vanish. The dream of a lunar base or Mars mission would evaporate. Launch pads would fall silent, rusting monuments to a more hopeful time. Economic devastation would force nations to pour resources into war, not science. The private space industry, reliant on government contracts and a stable economy, would shift to military applications or collapse. The vibrant new space race would end before it truly began. The loss of knowledge and infrastructure would set us back for decades, if not centuries. Space exploration requires a continuous chain of expertise. A long war would break that chain. Even if a future generation wanted to return to the stars, they might have to reinvent lost technology from scratch. The psychological impact would be profound. Space has inspired generations. Taking that away would be like clipping our species' wings. We'd be trapped on a damaged planet, forced to stare at our feet instead of the stars. Our cosmic dreams would die, and a part of our collective soul would die with them. If we unleashed our nuclear arsenals, would anyone else in the universe notice? Almost certainly, yes. A full-scale nuclear exchange would create brilliant flashes and unique radioactive signatures, detectable by any advanced civilization scanning our solar system. The sudden appearance of radioactive fallout in our atmosphere would be a dead giveaway. For an alien observer, it would be like finding a thriving ecosystem one day and a toxic wasteland the next. The message intelligent life on Earth discovered nuclear physics and used it to try to destroy itself. Our nuclear war could be seen as a sign that we are too unstable to be allowed to leave our cosmic cradle. This might be the Great Filter, a challenge most intelligent species fail to overcome. Our actions would send a definitive signal into the dark, telling the universe exactly what kind of species we are. The idea that we're under observation is central to many UFO theories, especially the zoo hypothesis. This theory suggests advanced civilizations are aware of us but choose not to make contact, observing us like animals in a preserve. If true, a third world war would be a major event for our observers, a sign their experiment is going wrong. The prime directive of non-interference might be tested. If the zookeepers see us about to destroy ourselves, they might intervene. This could explain increased UFO sightings near nuclear facilities. Perhaps they're monitoring our most dangerous toys, ready to step in. Intervention might be subtle, like disabling a missile system at a critical moment. If aliens see us as dangerously unstable, they might enforce a cosmic quarantine, isolating us from the galactic community. We'd be confined to our solar system until we prove we've matured as a species. A global war would be definitive proof we're not ready, triggering our isolation. Whether enforced by aliens or by our own actions, a global war would cut us off from a future of cosmic exploration. Imagine humanity as one of the few or the only technologically advanced species in our region of the galaxy. Our existence is precious, the universe's way of becoming self-aware. A third world war would risk silencing that voice forever, not just destroying humans but countless other species. The loss of humanity would mean the loss of a unique perspective on the cosmos. Every question we ask, every telescope we build, every theory we formulate adds to a potential galactic conversation. If we destroy ourselves, that conversation ends before it begins. The universe would lose its observers on this world. The poems, the equations, the art, all would vanish. The cosmos would continue its silent dance, but there would be one less mind to appreciate its beauty. We are on the verge of answering some of the biggest questions imaginable, searching for life, building new telescopes, returning to the moon and Mars. A global war would throw all of this away. The ultimate cost is not just lives lost, but the loss of our future and our potential. Silencing our world's only technological voice would be the ultimate cosmic tragedy. We stand at a crossroads as a species. The path we choose will determine our cosmic destiny. One path leads to division, conflict, and self-destruction. A dead end, a tragic chapter in the human story. The other path leads to unity, cooperation, and exploration, a future where we might join a galactic community. This choice isn't made by governments alone. It's made by each of us every day, in how we treat one another and what we value. We must champion the spirit of exploration, not the instincts that divide us. Invest in discovery, not destruction. Teach our children to look up at the night sky with wonder, not fear. The future of our species depends on these small, collective choices. As you look up at the stars tonight, think about this choice. Do we want to be remembered for our wars or for our voyages? The universe is waiting for our answer. The future is not yet written, and we are the authors of our cosmic story. Let's choose to write a story of peace, discovery, and a species wise enough to reach for the stars together.